Back to his favoured position on the left as Leeds return to the formation which has brought them so much success this season. Substitutes today are Hinchcliffe and Beagrie for Everton, Shutt and McClelland for Leeds. The referee is John Martin from Hampshire, one of Britain's most experienced officials. Leeds United have the best away record in the First Division. They've scored more and conceded less goals than anyone else, but it's still true to say that their only league defeats so far have both come away from home. And this really is a match they can't afford to lose. 4 points behind Manchester United at the start of play, and as you've heard, Manchester United have a home game against Chelsea to come on Wednesday. Leeds United in their change strip aboard yellow, attacking from left to right, the Goodison pitch in perfect condition. Strachan beaten to it by Beardsley, who tests his own goalkeeper, so to speak, with that early back pass. Jackson for Everton. Looked for Johnson, but straight onto the head of White. Ebrel wins it back. And Watson, the captain, back into the Leeds half. And anything above the ground today is likely to be won by those Leeds centre-backs against the minute partnership of Cottee and Johnson up front for Everton. First free kick has gone to Leeds United. Everton 12th in the table at the start of play, but they will go up 3 places if they win today. And White has gone up for this Leeds United free kick. Dorigo left-footed, looks for him, far edge of the area. Southall had plenty of time to see the danger. On his 56th cap for Wales in midweek, and is now Everton's longest serving player. He's been here over 10 years. Johnston's header straight at McAllister. Speed. Beardsley takes it off him and finds Bashika on the right. And Batty loses out for once. Johnston for Everton. Well, he and Cottee got it wrong between them then, and in typical David Batty fashion, he made up for his own earlier error by getting back to intercept then. Over the head of Cantona, that first deep kick, and Keown heads it out. Short to Strachan with the throw, and a good first-time cross headed away by Ablett. Cottee wins it back for Everton. Too deep really from Ebrel, easy for Dorigo. Jackson. That might well have been a free kick had the referee not actually overruled his linesman then. Indeed, free kick is the outcome. Cantona forward, big man, 6'2", powerful, so essentially a good technique, skillful sort of player. Strachan taking his time with the free kick, and they usually have a few tricks up their sleeve, Leeds United, from these situations. Cantona just beaten to the ball this time. Ward gets it away. McAllister winning it back for Leeds. Sterling playing it forward, and the flag goes up for offside. Well, as you've heard, alongside me today is Lee Chapman, and I suppose the question all Leeds United fans want to know, Lee, is when are you going to be not here but down there playing again?
Well, hopefully, Alan, I'll be back next week. We're going to play it day to day, see how the arm develops, but we're aiming for next week, and hopefully I can make that. But it's interesting to note the tactics today. Leeds feel the main threat is Peter Beardsley, and I think you will find David Batty man-marking Peter today. I think if we can stop Peter playing, then Leeds have got an excellent chance of winning today.
White's clearance, finding McAllister onto Cantona. And the Frenchman doing well, he was strong then. Ward got back for Everton, and Keown cleans up at the other end.
I was in the dressing room beforehand, the Leeds dressing room, and the lads are really G'd up for this one. They know they've got to win today to keep in touch with the United, and they're very keen to do well.
White, foul calling Mo Johnston then. Clearly he doesn't agree with the award. And he looked a bit of half a dozen of one and 6 of t'other. Beardsley and Ward standing over the ball, and Ebrel is in a position where he might have a dig as well if he fancies it. Keown saying he wanted played high. It's Beardsley who hits it straight into the wall. Fairclough got it away. Ward. That's a good ball. Given away then by Bashika. And Leeds dangerous on the counter-attack here with speed. Brought down. Beardsley complaining that he attempted to win the ball then, but it certainly wasn't a very clean tackle. And the free kick already taken. Wallace using his pace down that left touchline. And Jackson stood in his way. Mo Johnston. Ooh, that was a high challenge on Johnston by Batty. And 2 fiery little characters have an early exchange of views. David Batty, an unused substitute for England on Wednesday. Mo Johnston's international career with Scotland now over. White winning it for Leeds. Batty. Garrigo plays it forward. And again, it's Watson doing well in the air on the halfway line for Everton. But Batty has it back for Leeds. Over McAllister's head. Ward. Nicked off him by McAllister. Ablett did well though. Speed did even better. Now McAllister. It's a good run this by McAllister. A marvellous run. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, great play by Gary McAllister. Here's Leeds' playmaker, and you see how he breaks forward. He's got an excellent strike on him, but unfortunately he struck it straight at the goalkeeper.
3 goals this season for Gary McAllister from midfield. Leeds a team that produce goals from just about every quarter. White misses his header. Fairclough didn't. Johnston! And Johnston claiming that went off the defender and that Everton should have had a corner. The referee has given a goal kick. But that was an opportunity, Lee.
Yes, end-to-end football there. One chance at the Everton end and another chance at the Leeds end here. Mo Johnston takes a snapshot just wide of the goal.
As you can see, Mo Johnston hasn't really come off as yet as a goal-scoring commodity for Everton. But in fairness, he's had his injury problems. Missed a couple of games with very similar sort of injury to the one that's keeping Lee Chapman out at the moment.
Yes, I was speaking to Mo before the game, and he's still in a lot of pain from his wrist, but he's playing on with a cast supporting his wrist, so hopefully it will come through okay.
Sterling. Keown won it well, and Ablett neatly back. Funny thing about Gary Ablett, it's his 5th game since he moved over from Liverpool to Everton, and 4 of them have been live on television. He got used to that in his days at Anfield. Here's Jackson. Good challenge by McAllister. The ball has gone out for an Everton throw. Johnston. Helped on, and an excellent ball to Ebrel. Just touched away, Ward's header, and then away by Sterling. And Leeds were caught a bit flat then as Everton attacked down the right.
Yes, it's an excellent forward run by John Ebrel, and got to the byline and didn't quite pull it back far enough, but a great run from Ebrel.
And obviously the referee gave offside at the culmination of that attack.
Here we see a good ball in, but not quite hard enough, and Mel Sterling makes a great header here, stop it going goal bound.
Keown's clearance. Garrigo took it on the chest. Batty with a little 50-50 header back, won by Cottee. And again, all credit to Batty for getting back and making up for his own mistake. McAllister. Wallace. Strachan first time, useful looking one. Cantona getting up with Watson, and he got up a bit too physically for referee Martin's liking. Free kick to Everton. Bashika's header came off the Leeds man, Dorigo, so Everton get the throw. Beardsley dispossessed. Oh, great little back here. It was a pity didn't quite come off then. Nice little touch from McAllister. Everton win the throw again. It's been difficult to beat at Goodison this season, Everton. Only Aston Villa and Sheffield Wednesday have taken maximum points here. They've won 6 and drawn 6. Wallace nudged aside, but the referee allows Cantona to go on here, and it's a direct run and goal for the Frenchman. And it could easily have been his first ever goal in English football, and maybe when he looks back at that, he'll feel it ought to have been. He did the hard work well enough, Lee.
Yes, an excellent run here by Cantona. He uses his pace well, cuts in front of the defenders, and really was only inches wide. Very unfortunate here. A great run though.
Well, what an introduction that would have been. Here's Batty. Sterling, first time. Over Cantona's head, and Jackson gets it back safely. Not been a renowned goal scorer in recent seasons, though his overall record in French football was pretty good. Here's Ward. Beardsley takes over. Now Ablett. Good first time ball for Coffey. Ward again. Disappointing cross from Mark Ward. Watson. Where Everton's problems have come from in recent months, and particularly in recent weeks when they've gone 3 matches without scoring and managed just 2 goals in their last 6 games. As has been said often before, Everton's approach play admirable, but they just haven't had anything on the end of it, and that's got them in this sticky position midway down the First Division table and out of all the cup competitions. In fact, reflected in a drop-off in attendance figures at Goodison in recent weeks. They really need the boost of a win here today as a pick-me-up for the rest of their season. Strachan getting it forward. Strange clearance by Keown, straight back to him. Strachan happy for the throw, and he'll leave that to Sterling. Cantona with a little flick for Wallace. He couldn't return the compliment to Sterling. I saw a statistic recently that pointed out that the leaders of the First Division in the opening week of February have gone on to win the championship in 9 of the last 10 seasons, and Leeds were actually the leaders at the start of this month. Good ball by Ablett. Ward. In towards Johnston. It was a bit flat across. Sterling dispossessed by Beardsley and just flicked away by White. And it was as well he did, because Everton had men on the far post. First corner to Everton.
Yes, important header by Chris White here. Good ball in by Beardsley. And Chris White just stops Codsey getting on the end of it.
Leeds deal with the corner well enough, but then Beardsley wins it back and played it too deep for Bashika. Leeds, incidentally, have won all 3 league games against Everton since they won promotion back to the First Division 2 seasons ago, after that 8-year spell in the Second Division. And they also had a 4-1 victory here earlier this season in the Cup. Beardsley doing well, and then Ward gives it away. Garrigo. Well, both sides have had an opportunity to score, but with the first quarter of an hour completed, it's still 0-0 at Goodison. Very deep kick from Southall. Erclough watching it all the way. Sterling. Pen off Keown for Leeds United's throw. Strachan scurries to retrieve the ball quickly. Cantona didn't realise he'd thrown it to him. Pebble doing well for Everton. Good tackle on Cottee by Chris Fairclough. Sterling now for Leeds. And they get the throw off Ablett. Batty. Both sides finding their attacks fizzling out before they reach the penalty area in the opening quarter of an hour, with the exception of that early opportunity for Johnston and the even better one for Cantona. White's header, Speed couldn't control it. Jackson playing it straight back in. Garrigo with a hurried clearance. Everton get the throw. Shika got it all wrong. Everton a bit fortunate to keep possession. They're getting a bit frustrated here. Everton couldn't make anything of that throw. Ward turning it on, offside, but she goes offside. The referee hasn't seen the linesman flagging it. Matters not now, anyway. Wallace, he's done well here, and Strachan supports the attack. Southall couldn't hold it, and strangely it came back off Strachan's boot, and Leeds have to settle for the corner.
Yes, good advantage played by the referee. Let the move develop there.
Well, Leeds always dangerous from corners as well as free kicks. But not this one. Johnston gets it away. Batty knocking it back in. And Strachan couldn't get it under control. Saw Gordon Strachan playing for Scotland at Hampden in midweek. It was an absolutely inspiring performance by him.
Here we see Gordon coming in on goal. They could strike, but straight at the keeper, who does well to get in the way.
Ward skips round Batty's challenge. Ball spending too much time in the air at the moment, and Jackson, under absolutely no pressure, got his clearance all wrong. There was nobody near him, so he still managed to control it and then give it away. Here's Ward. And Mark Ward just can't find the range of his passing at the moment. It's about 3 he's given away.
Gordon's been plagued by a sciatica problem this season, and he seems to have shaken it off in the last couple of weeks, and he's got an extra spring in his step at the moment, and as you said, an excellent performance in midweek for Scotland.
Yes, hard to believe, but he was 35 last month. Cantona winning it well, but Wallace couldn't drop it. Aside from those 2 isolated openings, the game hasn't really sparked into life yet. Speed. Cantona's head, cleared by Jackson, and another sloppy sort of clearance by the 20-year-old. Howard Wilkinson, in his 4th year at Ellen Road, has done such a wonderful job in establishing the club as championship contenders. Wallace on the attack for them and wins the throw. Both White and Fairclough have come forward for this throw. Came off White and hooked clear by Keown. Only as far as McAllister though. Strachan did well. And then just overrun it a bit. Ward came in to take it from him. Bashika. That's a good ball for Everall. Crowd getting behind Everton now. Beardsley looked for Covey. Sterling just did enough to put him off though. That's a great kick by Lukic, really precise to Cantona. Wallace, Sterling, offside. You've seen a bit of him in training, obviously, the Frenchman. Lee, what sort of a player is he?
Well, he's got a lovely touch on the ball. He's a big guy, he's got plenty of weight behind him, uses his weight well. And he's got a good strike. He can score goals. I think the manager felt when he first came over here, he was probably coming off a bit too deep, trying to pick up the ball in their own half. And I think he's got him to stay up front a lot more today, and he's looking dangerous.
Certainly has had the best chance to score so far. The whistle has gone now, with Everton feeling that John Martin could have played the advantage. Johnston had been fouled, no question, and Cotty sprinted away with the ball, only to hear the whistle stop him in full flight. Can't win though sometimes in those situations as a referee. Abler's free kick. They've gone towards Watson by Keown, but easy for Lukic. Abler gets it away, McAllister onto it quickly. This is Strachan. Sterling comes up in support, but Strachan goes alone. And again the linesman has flagged for offside against Cantona in the middle.
Leeds do beginning to get down Everton's left-hand side quite often. Everton must watch this because they're getting around the back of them, and there seems to be quite a lot of space down the left-hand side.
Just about midway through the first half, still 0-0 here. Beardsley, the first time volleyed pass out to the right, and Jackson kept it in. Gets it back from Bashika. It's Leeds throw though. Speed for Leeds United. McAllister goes in hard with 2 Everton players. Beardsley comes out with the ball. And indeed, McAllister is still injured from that challenge, and Southall has quite correctly and sensibly whacked the ball into the stand to allow treatment. McAllister's back on his feet again. I think it's Everall, is it, the Everton player, who is down injured, yes. There's Helm, their physio, on to treat John Everall, the 22-year-old. Strange there, McAllister was the meat in an Everton sandwich, and he was the one who came off apparently least injured. Just got caught in a nasty angle there, Everall, who scored against Leeds United here last year in what in fact was Leeds' return to the First Division, a match that Leeds United won 3-2. We've got a break, obviously, while Everall's getting treated here. What's the feeling at Ellen Road at the moment about how the rest of the season might map out in terms of the Championship?
Well, we've had a little break. We went to the league game for 2 weeks, and we got together a few days ago and just discussed our chances. We think we've got a great chance of winning it. Obviously, United are favourites, but we've got to keep on in there. We've got to keep in touch with United, and who knows what can happen. But we're confident we're going to be there to the end. I'm sure United are the same.
Everton again to continue. As is the fashion these days, happily and sportingly, Strachan returns the ball to Everton. Still need somebody to bring this game to life, really. White's clearance. Cantona takes it on the chest, a little flick on by Strachan, lovely little touch there by Speed, and Heppel, who's only just been treated for an injury, went in equally hard again. Well, the pace of the game is such these days that you've really got to earn the right to play. Disappointing ball by Watson, the Everton captain. Cantona winning that one, but no one able to move on to it for Leeds. Nice control by Carty. Bashika. Well, Bashika's having one of those days. He seems to have washed his feet last night and can't do a thing with them. Slipped over about 3 times and given the ball away on an equal number of occasions. Here's Batty. Sterling. Batty again. Tipped it in towards Wallace, far post, and Bashika this time did rather better with a good clearing header. Obviously feeling a bit of anxiety. It's the first game he started since our cameras were last here against Nottingham Forest. Watch for White on the near post. If it works, he can get the flick on for Fairclough, and several others coming in behind him. Goes deeper towards Fairclough, and the header came off an Everton defender. It's another corner. So the old chap Strachan has to race from one side of the pitch to the other. I think race is not quite the right word. A sort of gentle jog. Sterling as ever forward with the central defenders. Bit flat the corner. Johnston with an easy interception, and Everton break dangerously, fiercely. Cotty's header. Jackson. Johnston still inside the Everton half. He got a cloud in the face and he knocked the ball away. On it goes to Cotty though. Did well to keep it in there really, Cotty, and sort of challenge by Batty. We didn't see anything wrong with it. The throw to Everton. Ward. Ablett. Johnson got up well, and it breaks to Jackson. That could have been a problem for Lukic. Took a little deflection en route and goes behind for a corner. He's never actually scored for Everton, nor indeed for his previous club Luton, Matthew Jackson, but then again he's only been a pro a couple of years. He's had a really rapid climb to the top. Lukic comes to claim it. Conceded just 11 goals in his 14 league games away from Ellen Road this season, John Lukic. Dorigo winning it, and then Everton get it back. Mo Johnson, on it goes from Emerald, over Cotty's head though. Shika takes the throw quickly, and Johnson gives it straight back to Batty. Now Dorigo, Cantona brings it down but gives it away in the same movement. Here's Ebrel. Bashika. Urging him to go forward. He drives it in a bit too low. Batty intercepts. Coming up to the half-hour point. Still Everton 0, Leeds United 0. Watson, beaten by Cantona. Wallace flicking it on towards the Frenchman, and Havlik got across. Southall was already behind the line when he got his fist to the ball. It's a corner. Over Whitehead and then in behind him. I think it was Sterling, wasn't it? Yes, Sterling, who came through the pack of players to direct his header wide.
Yes, good ball in by Gordon. Leeds free kicks and set pieces are well rehearsed, and here we see Mel Sterling almost getting a goal. Good flick on by Chris White. Yes, he would have felt probably he could have done a little better. He's shaking his head there. Mel scored more difficult ones than that.
He has to. 7 goals for him this season so far. And there he is doing his defensive work. A little more efficiently, perhaps. Keown gets it away. Beardsley. Johnston. Beardsley again. That's a good ball for Cotti, and he's onside. Well, he got in the shot, but it was a fraction too late and gave Lukic a better angle to make the save. Hasn't scored since early December, Tony Cotti.
Lovely weighted ball by Peter Beardsley. And I felt Tony Cotti could have shot straight away. Delayed a minute, lost his chance. The angle was too narrow.
That's a little bit of a confidence problem for Cotti, and it showed in that moment. Keown trying to reach the corner. Arrigo gets it away for a throw. Beardsley. Good tackle from Sterling, wasn't it? Strachan. He overhit that a bit. And Ablett had to be very accurate with that back pass, and was. Jackson. Bashika. Sterling had time to turn away with the route back to his goalkeeper, cut off by Ward. And rather symptomatic of the football we've had so far, despite not really being under pressure, Sterling gave the ball away. I think it is, in the words of the old cliche, a game that needs a goal. Ward. That's the Batty. Crowd all shouting then because they felt that Sterling had fouled Cotti, but the referee was quite happy. Wallace. Cantona getting in strong with Watson. Wallace is still down injured from the earlier challenge as Batty sends it in towards the Frenchman far post. Then it comes back towards Strachan. Everton backpedaling for a moment, but Ablett was very calm with that header. Rod Wallace still limping a little bit inside the Everton half as Beardsley has possession. And almost ran into trouble. He was fouled, in fact. And Wallace signalled to the bench then that he would have liked a bit of treatment, but the referee wants the free kick taken, and Everton have got on with it. Jackson. Here's McAllister, a little nudge from Bashika, which he did well to withstand. And an excellent ball for Sterling. McAllister. Wallace. Referee got in the way of David Batty, who was trying to run onto that little header. Ashika coming very deep to receive the ball. Ebrel. It's a good ball. Cotty. White got across quickly, and that was good defensive work by White. And indeed he's won the free kick. 10 minutes to half-time. No score, and not a lot of threat of one as yet. It's been disappointing so far. Keown's clearance straight at Strachan. Turned back into Wallace. Made room for himself nicely. McAllister with a shot. Oh, and a great save by Southall. McAllister frustrated, and Southall's done it again, and even Strachan says, hey, well done.
What a super bit of football here. Rod Watts does well to hold it up, lays it off to Gary McAllister. A superb strike and an even better save. Great bit of football.
Well, that has brought the game to life. Strachan's corner. Over the heads of everyone it was intended for. Wallace keeps it in. A thundering challenge by Everton, to the delight of the Evertonians. Wallace wasn't too impressed. Sterling will take a throw and try and get a long distance on this to the near post. Speed getting up. Southall got in between everyone to fist it behind. White stayed on that near post position where he tries to win those flick-ons. Clough and Sterling trying to pick up whatever comes on from that post. Sterling took it away from danger as far as Leeds were concerned then. Foul by Fairclough. No doubt about that. Actually sent off when the teams met at Ellen Road earlier in the season, Chris Fairclough. White's clearance, Beardsley is onto it. Jackson, that was handball, wasn't it? No, the referee says play on. Forward, Cotty's downward header, finds Ward, who's drifted into a central position now. Went in really hard then with McAllister. Bit of determination from Everton. And from Strachan for Leeds. Speed with a good ball. Dorigo let it run on to Wallace. Now Dorigo's come out though. Well, there was a sudden little period then, Lee, when everybody decided to pick up the pace of things.
That's right, it's getting a bit tasty in midfield. The tackles are flying in, some of them a bit late. I think both teams are geared up and it's coming to life a bit now.
Beardsley, that one too deep though. It's been a cautious sort of game so far, really, hasn't it?
Yes, it's lacking shape. As you said, it needs a goal to get it together. But it's livening up now, and I think as the game goes on, it will settle down a lot more.
Cantona doing well, and the free kick has gone in his favour. Foul by Keown. Marvellous season he's having, his third here at Everton, and he's replaced in this position Kevin Ratcliffe, who's also on the transfer list now, the former Everton captain. So Keown looks in for a lengthy spell. Sterling's free kick, it didn't work. Everton pushed forward and got the offside. Watson hitting it deep. Easy for White. Climb above Johnston, though. And Everton pick up the pieces. Ward turning it on. Poor ball. Frustrating day for these wide players. Ward on one side and Vashika on the other. Haven't really been able to get into the game yet for Everton, have they?
No, they find it difficult. Off full-backs are playing well. They're giving them very little room. But as the game progresses, the space will develop, and they'll probably come more into the game then.
And they've certainly got the threat from the bench of Peter Beagrie if Howard Kendall decides he needs to make a change in that department. Leeds United get the free kick. Strachan. Batty. Brilliant. Sterling. Cantona wants it played in and got the ball he wanted. Speed came in just behind him. And Washika heads behind for a corner. He spent a lot of this half defending the Polish international. Promoted from the substitutes bench where he's been for the previous 3 games. You get the feeling that one of these Leeds corners is going to pay off. Everton dealt well with that one. Batty turning it straight back to Strachan. Beardsley. Moving well then under pressure, Peter Beardsley. But Leeds have the throw. Sterling. Cantona making the run for him, but he couldn't find him. Between Mr. Sterland and Ward. Free kick to Everton, and they've taken it very quickly. Abbott, quick thinking, but then Johnston gave it away, and Leeds did well then because they were almost caught on the back foot by the speed of Abbott's free kick. About 3 minutes to half-time, 0-0. Cantona with time and room, finds Wallace. Dorigo. Batty. McAllister let it run on, and that was a mistake as it happened. Throw to Everton. Foul throw as well. Peter Beardsley, the culprit. Watson knocking it on. Johnston made it awkward for White, but not quite awkward enough. Batty with the clearance. Leeds have possession. Strachan. Batty again. They'll keep possession without necessarily making progress. Then they win a free kick. That challenge by Abril and McAllister, who's come in for a few dubious tackle so far. On his 11th cap for Scotland against Northern Ireland in midweek. Strachan. Dorigo will try the shot. I'm afraid that just about sums up the half in many ways. It was sadly off target. Cotty's header. Johnston couldn't win it. And Everton have it back with Ebrel. Rather confident, cheeky, call it what you like, but also well off target. We've now moved into stoppage time at the end of what's been a disappointing, rather flat first half. And let's hope that the respective Howards, Kendall and Wilkinson, can inspire their teams to produce better football in the second 45 minutes. Flag's gone up for offside.
Yes, it's been a disappointing first half, but we've still had chances for either team, and we could have had 2 or 3 goals so far, so let's hope that we can get an early goal in the second half and bring the game to life.
Southall comes on a little away day. It wasn't a bad ball, but White gets it away. McAllister. Cantona's layoff, and again Ebrel fighting in hard in midfield. There's a mood of frustration in the stands and terraces at Everton. You can feel they desperately want to see their side doing well, but they're almost making the players apprehensive in possession at times by their anxiety. Everton, as we've said, proved a difficult team to beat in the league here this season, and they proved difficult opponents in the first half for second in the table Leeds United in the first 45 minutes. The score at Goodison, Everton 0, Leeds United 0. We'll be back right after the break.
Cruise the Caribbean with Cunard Countess and you'll find everything you could want on board. Comfortable accommodation and deliciously fresh food. Lovely sea views and a lively disco. An open-air pool, live entertainment and romantic sunsets. Hard to imagine why people go ashore. Cunard Countess, Britain's favourite Caribbean cruise ship.
Cooks and cook 'em, bakers and burn 'em. Don't leave the loaves long, don't forget to turn 'em. Players from rugby, plumbers from bath, polishers from machine. Keep your television clean, painters from Gainsborough. Try not to shake 'em, better check the signature or you might have a fake in 'em. Babies from Crawley, tailors from Coatbridge. If they haven't got your size, you can let it out an inch. Potters from Potter's Bar, carpenters from Wood Green, builders from Hammersmith, anyone whose name is Smith. Farmers from Cowes, Oxford and Barnsley. Please close the Ramsgate, keep them out of harm's way. Pet shops in Petswood, tilers from Tilehurst, photographers from Ilford. Don't forget to smile first.
Nationwide. With more branches than anyone else, we're the nation's building society.
This is Bob Lamb's house. What Bob doesn't know is we filled his brand new pool with slime. Just watch his face when he arrives.
What Terry doesn't know is that Bob drinks Carling Black Label.
Thank you so much.
There's compost and there's McKinnon's compost. If it's prize vegetables you're after, look no further.
From Gillette comes Sensor, the razor that can sense and adjust to the individual needs of your face. Sensor blades are mounted on responsive springs to continuously sense and individually adjust to your face. Closer, safer, more comfortable. Gillette Sensor, together with the richness of Gillette Gel, for a shave that is unsurpassed.
If you don't agree that Diet Pepsi is the best tasting Diet Cola, we'll give you your money back.
Papa?
Nicole! Some are happy with sheer power. Others prefer more refinement. Happily, you can now have both. The 16-valve Renault Clio.
Welcome back. You get the feeling Everton could do with someone like Joe Royle, actually, don't you? They seem a bit lightweight up there.
Yeah, I mean, Chris White and Fairclough, they're picking up everything, you know, everything that's played along, they're winning the ball in the air. I mean, at United, we've got Mark Hughes and Brian McClare, who aren't very tall, but they're strong lads. And Johnson and Cotty, you know, they're not really holding anything up there. And it's making it difficult for Everton to build up an attacking game.
What about Eric Cantona? I mean, from your experience of Andrei Kanchelskis, you know how difficult it is for a foreign player to adapt to the speed of English football and not speaking the lingo as well.
Well, he's done well there. He's anticipated the ball and he's gone through. He obviously favours his right foot because he's went round the ball rather than getting a nice strike with his left. He's went for a curler into the far corner and he's just missed the post there.
Is communication on the pitch difficult with a foreign player?
I think when you're a really good player and you're playing with good players, it's quite easy to get an understanding going. And so the language problem isn't too bad.
Leeds failed with just about their most favourite tactic in the first half, the near post corner routine. It's very difficult to defend against.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's watched Leeds playing this and they do it so well. You know that they're going to do that on every corner, and yet it's still very difficult to defend on.
You'll have been very disappointed, Mel Stone. We intimated at the top of the programme that if Leeds were to win, they would have to beat Neville Southall, which isn't easy,
This is a fantastic save. I mean, he struck that beautiful McAllister. It's going towards the top corner, and Neville's made a great save there.
Everton have had just one or two moments where they've threatened the Leeds defence. They've only scored 1 goal in 5 games. Do you sense a hesitation about them in those areas?
They're looking a little bit short of confidence up front. You know, they're not making the mind up quick enough. I mean, it's a lovely little ball there. I mean, Tony, when he's on form, he would have run onto that and he would have hit that without even thinking twice. He's took the touch and it's got the angle to a bad angle, and it's made it an easy save.
Which of the two sides is most likely to score?
I think Leeds are looking the more dominant team at the moment. They're more progressive. And they're looking like the team who are going to score.
Which will displease you as you are actually president of the Everton fan club for this afternoon, no?
For this afternoon, definitely.
Right, well, we've got our Goal of the Day competition coming up at the end of the programme. The winner from 2 weeks ago, David Hurst, Brian, against you.
Yes, if I'd had Steve Bruce's backside, I would have stopped that one. But it was a tremendous strike.
Yeah, you said it actually clipped your shorts. Well, here's the winner, Jay Rosario of Fratton in Portsmouth, who wants to go to Genoa to watch Sampdoria against Juventus. Good win for you yesterday, 2-0 against the Palace.
Yes, it was lovely to see Mark Hughes on the score sheet again. Mark's tremendous all-round ability in that, but we just needed a few more goals from him. Hopefully that's going to be the start now of a run from Mark.
Join us after the break.
For football in the north, you'll always score with the Sun. For full reports on the weekend's big games, get Monday's Sun. Plus goals, the great 12-page soccer pullout. All the weekend's action from Britain and Europe. It's all in the North's own edition of the Sun every Monday.
He's a man with a plan, got a counterfeit dollar in his hand. He's Mr. Know-it-all, playing hard, talking fast, making sure that he won't be the last. He's Mr. Know-it-all, must be seen, there's doubt, he's the coolest one with the biggest smile. He's Mr. Know-It-All.
Hey, Joey. So you didn't get your paws on a Master System 2 this Christmas? Why worry? They're still less than £60.
To be this good, take Sega.
You've probably worn things like our new running shoes before. Just never on your feet. Hirachi by Nike.
Cadbury's Twirl. 2 folded fingers coated in delicious Cadbury's chocolate. Take 5 for a Cadbury's Twirl.
Gold, an inspirational album of 18 epic sporting anthems. Go for Gold, out now.
Just look at all that ground-in grime.
I can't see anything shifting that.
Don't tell me. These stubborn stains are impossible.
Sorry, love.
This grease, it hasn't budged. It just never gets deep down clean, does it?
Typical. They've never heard of Shell Advanced Petrol.
Yeah, it's got special detergents that actually clean your engine while you're driving.
Exactly. And if you use it regular, it can improve your car's performance.
You think they'd know that?
Of course you would.
Right, see you next week, lads.
Do you know where this goes?
Shell Advanced Petrol cleans your engine as you drive.
Full reports on the weekend's big games, plus goals, the great 12-page soccer pull-out. It's all in the North's own edition of The Sun every Monday.
Welcome back. Hopefully we'll be hearing from Howard Wilkinson very shortly. But put yourself in Howard Kendall's position right now. What would you have been saying in the dressing room at half-time?
I think he's got to say to his defence to keep playing the way they are playing, you know, try and keep it tight, give nothing away. And then hopefully his midfield players, somebody like Peter Beardsley, can make a run from deep or Everall and just try and get beyond the Leeds back four, because at the moment they're not really doing that. The strikers are finding it very difficult to get in behind Leeds, and they need somebody to be running from deep.
It's the age-old question with Beardsley, Brian, isn't it? And you've played with him at international level. Do you feel he could damage Leeds more if he was right up front?
Yeah, obviously Howard's playing Peter in midfield because he's struggling for midfield players. Because Peter's his best game is when he's up there, dropping off into midfield and he's joining his midfield players up. And when Peter does that, I mean, that's when you get the best of Peter Beardsley.
Of course, they've got Maurice Johnston up there, their most recent signing, or their second most recent signing, should I say, at £1.5 million. Doesn't really seem to have settled yet.
He just took a quick snapshot there. The goals were a little bit blocked as well. You know, I thought maybe he could have just took it to the side and maybe he's had a strike there, because the defender was always blocking the shot. But it's like we were saying earlier, you know, I just feel like the Everton lads are just lacking a little bit of confidence at the moment. And they need a few goals between them, you know, just to turn that round.
So what have Leeds got to do to win it? I mean, it is so important for them with this 4-point gap as it is at the moment between your Leeds and yourselves.
I think if Leeds keep playing the way they were playing towards the last 15 minutes there, keep getting the ball into the box, because Cantona's looked not bad in the air, you know, and he's caused a few problems, and Rod Wallace, the quickness he's got around the box, he could cause problems. So they've just got to keep playing the way they were towards the end of that half, get the ball in towards the box, and I'm sure that they'll score a goal.
I think there might be a little bit of a problem with Rod Wallace as well. Hopefully we'll be hearing from Howard Wilkinson very shortly.
Yeah, he seemed to be...
In fact, we can hear from him now, Brian. Let's go down and hear from Howard with Gary Newbon.
Howard, what's the problem with Rod Wallace?
Rod's got a kick on the head of the fibula, and it looks like he's going to have an X-ray as a precaution.
So you've got Carl Shutt on?
Carl Shutt's on up front, yeah.
Now, it's been a disappointing game so far. You obviously need a win, desperate for a win. What have you said to your team at half-time?
Well, we've got to inject more pace and tempo into the game. We've got to raise the pace of the game. When we lose the ball, the pitch is too big. You know, they're playing and we're playing. We've got to get closer to them when we lose the ball, get the ball back earlier and get at them more. We've got to sustain the pressure. At the moment, we're playing too much in fits and starts.
Thank you. Thank you.
The views of the Leeds United manager, Howard Wilkinson. As you heard, he's made that half-time substitution. Wallace going off injured. Carl Shutt has taken his place. Here's Bashika meantime for Everton. Now Cotty, helped on by Ebrel to Johnston. No free kick given, and then Speed slides it inadvertently out of play. Batty winning it back. Matthew Jackson. Oh, Batty really went in and like a ton of bricks on him. And Dorigo with a very good tackle, but Watson wins it back. On between Beardsley and Johnston, but it didn't come off. Leeds United get the throw-in. Cantona gives it away. This is Jackson, and it came off the Frenchman for another throw to Everton. Johnston. Good tackle by White. And Everton making slow but steady progress down this right touchline. Jackson. Well, one of the features of the first half was the lack of understanding between Bashika and Jackson. They just don't really seem to have got their act together, the right fullback and the right midfield player. And it was summed up in that moment, a total misunderstanding. So the message from Howard Wilkinson to Leeds is to pick up the pace of the game. Cantona in possession. Whistle's gone for a free kick to Leeds, indirect, inside the centre circle. Carl Shutt, who scored when Leeds beat Everton 2-0 at Ellen Road in the league in December. And he's replaced the injured Wallace. That was dangerous for a moment, and Keown reacted first. Still in play out there. And Ablett does well for Everton. Tackled by White. McAllister loses out. The ball came off the Everton defender. Leeds get the throw. Of this throw-in. Cantona swings it in. Carl Shutt with a nice little layoff to Batty on the right. It's been very congested in midfield today. There's been no room or time for players to get their foot on the ball. McAllister has tried to occasionally, and Everton try to now. Good run by Cozzy, but then he gives it away sloppily. Carl Shutt back to intercept. Carl Shutt has had to settle for the substitutes role mainly this season. But here he is with a golden opportunity now to show what he can do. Speed winning it back for Leeds. Sterling takes over. Leeds United attacking the goal in this half, behind which their supporters are gathered. And they've got a free kick.
think one reason the game hasn't come alive is the competitiveness in midfield. You saw there, everyone's on each other's heels and a lot of fouls being given away.
The war cry of Leeds from behind that goal as they take this free kick through Dorigo. Gary Speed beaten to it by Jackson. Cotty doing well for Everton. Beardsley's header to Jackson. He's under pressure straight away. Von Carl shot though and loses out. And the two players lean into each other. Carl shot doing well. Leeds get the throw. Speed. Ball just wouldn't sit down for him. And in the end, to the fury of the Everton crowd, the referee has given a free kick against Beardsley. On his usual foray forward, along with Fairclough and Sterling. Sterling stayed back this time, outside the area. A lot of movement inside the box. Strachan hammers it in. Great free kick that. Keown did well to get it away. Here's Everett. Now this looks an interesting break for Everton. They've got plenty forward here. Cotty and Johnson in good positions. And Ward has given it away to Strachan. Everton holding their back line, trying to play Leeds offside. McAllister gets it wide. Gary Speed. Well, Ablett couldn't take any chances then because he knew that Carl Shutt was coming in behind him. Leeds corner. And they're certainly getting a lot of vocal support now. Leeds United. Well, I don't think I've seen that happen for a very long time. The corner driven straight behind by a player of the ability of Gordon Strachan. There was not a breath of wind in the ground for him to use as an excuse. You said you practiced that a lot in training, Lee. Not that.
Yeah, so very rarely seen by Gordon, one of the few bad corners. He won't be very happy with that. I'm sure he'll put it right next time.
Southall won't be in the least bothered by the taunting from the Leeds fans behind him. A bit short, that throw by Sterling. He took a real chance then, and Lukic had to come out and lump the ball into the stand with Mo Johnson getting between defender and goalkeeper. Shout for handball against Strachan, and the referee has upheld the shout. So Everton's big guns, Keown and Watson, have come forward for the free kick. Watson going up well, but so too did Gary Speed, and then Fairclough getting it away. Ward back to Ablett, offside as he turns it in. Either Vashika or it could have been Jackson in the middle, doesn't really matter. We have to go back to December the 7th for Everton's last league win here at Goodison. They beat West Ham 4-0. Since then they've lost 1 and drawn 3 of their league matches at Goodison. They're going through this really frustrating period of the season when they can't get goals or points. Batty for Leeds United, who need the points rather more seriously than do Everton. United, remember, second behind Manchester United at the start of play, 4 points between them. Leeds' only defeats in their 28 league matches this season. Both came away from home at Crystal Palace and on their last away trip at Oldham. Bashika. On by Beardsley to Johnston. Now Ward. so tight and congested in the middle of the field. Free kick to Everton. Chipped forward by Keown towards Watson, but over his head, goal kick.
I think the secret today is the team that can get players wide is going to probably win this game, because it's very congested in the middle, and the teams tend to be playing down the middle, which is the wrong option for me. They've got to start getting it down each other's flanks, and then I think we'll see some goals coming.
Yes, it's strange that, isn't it? With so many naturally wide players on the park, everything seems to have been sucked into the centre today, making it even tighter than it usually is. Here's one of the men who can get it wide, Bashika. And gets it back rather fortunately. He gives it away just as quickly. But Everton in possession with Jackson. Beardsley. Well, when Beardsley is inaccurate as that, you know it's a scruffy, scrappy sort of game. But here's McAllister. Beardsley back to win it again. Good header by Johnston. Now Bashika. Beardsley. Ablett's on the left. Johnston making a good run in the inside left position. Well watched by Fairclough. And Leeds quite calm at the back at the moment. And then Speed plays a strange little ball which Fairclough did well to rescue. Patty takes it off Sterling's toe, and a good ball to Rigo. Now we've got a bit of width. Jackson stood his ground well, and Rigo has to settle for the throw. Patty. Speed. An inaccurate clearance by White gives Everton possession. Ebrel. And that's a good run by Ward. He's got Johnston far post. Potty on the edge of the area. And Beardsley finally has the shot, and it was a tremendous effort from that range. Corner. Beardsley again. Strachan took it off him. Leeds could break here. Cantona in possession and shut ahead of him. And he ran straight into trouble in the shape of Watson. But he's given it away. Still Leeds have a lot of players forward. McAllister tried to curl it then. Ebrel made a good tackle. Southall in trouble. A shot turns it back in, and it's gone in off the defender. Shot claims the goal, but it hit Keown on the goal line and went in, and Leeds United are in front. 13 minutes into the second half.
Well, good forward play by Gary McAllister. Deflection up in the air, and a good challenge by Coleshot. He's not very big, but makes a great challenge, and he's alert, very sharp onto the ball, and enough Keown for a goal. Just what the game needed.
Has to go down as an own goal that, well as Coleshot did here. I think Southall will be a bit disappointed with himself that he didn't get distance on that attempt to fist it away. Shutt just turned it back into the middle, and Keown covering the near post. Well, the ball hit him. He didn't really know much about it, but an own goal.
I think Southall won't be happy with this punch. Completely flapped at it, but Coleshot was very alert, and I think I'd have to give that to Coleshot.
That's a typical striker talking, isn't it?
I've got to say that.
Well, whoever it goes to, it's gone to Leeds United, and that's the important thing, and they're in front now. Johnston struggling to win it back off White, and suddenly the pace of the game has picked up, and suddenly Leeds look dangerous again with Coleshot here. Southall a little slow initially to come out. Strachan beaten to it by Ebrel. Good work by the Everton midfielder. And then he hits it too deep, does he, or does he? Beardsley's trying to make the most of it. Goal kick. while all that was going on, Everton made a substitution, which I must confess I didn't notice. Two, in fact. Peter Beagrie has come on. And the players who've gone off are Robert Bashika and Tony Cottee. So both Andy Hinchcliffe and Peter Beagrie have come on for Everton. And that'll cause them to reshuffle things. We'll comment on that in a moment. As shot goes through again. And Jackson just whipped the ball away from him. So just looking around quickly, Beardsley has obviously gone up front now, along with Mo Johnson for Everton. Ward has switched back to the right. Beagrie's taken up a position on the left, and Hinchcliffe's gone in midfield.
I must admit, I agree with Brian Robson. I prefer Peter Beardsley to play up front. I feel he's far more dangerous and a greater threat to the opposition team. I'm always glad to see Peter Beardsley playing in midfield. I think he's less of a danger there.
He is, in fact, Everton's leading goal scorer this season as well, with 14. Hasn't missed a game since his move from Liverpool. So a pretty dramatic and instant reconstruction by Howard Kendall the moment Everton went a goal behind. Cantona. Strachan, and Southall always favourite to reach that. I gather from our reporter Gary Newman on the touchline that Howard Kendall was going to make those changes regardless of the fact that Leeds United took the lead. They were waiting to come on as the ball hit the net. Fairclough's clearance. Hinchcliffe, one of the substitutes. Offside, Johnston's offside. Flag went up instantly. Hinchcliffe, who hasn't played since the middle of December. He had a lot of games at the start of the season, including the match against Leeds here in the Rumbelows Cup, which Leeds won 4-1. Gary Speed for Leeds. Goal in front now, McAllister. Speed again. Flying in on that ball. Ward wastes the free kick. He's been really off colour today, Mark Ward. A smashing little player normally, but just doesn't seem on his game yet. Watson's header, Jackson, and the pressure from Speed. Everton get the throw. Here's Ward. Johnston beaten, an excellent tackle too by Fairclough. Ooh, Strachan gave it away. Now Hinchcliffe. And Hinchcliffe gives it away. Well, Brian Robson watching in our studio.
Yes, well, I felt that Leeds were always looking a bit dangerous, and Neville Southall will be a bit disappointed about the way he went for the cross, but you know, they got the break that they were looking for, Leeds, and now it should be a really exciting game.
We all hope so. We've waited a long time. Cantona beaten by Watson. Arrigo. On it goes again from Jackson. Lukic in control. Leeds have now scored 28 goals away from home this season. Easily the best total. Here's Strachan. And Cantona. Strachan's gone down injured from that earlier challenge, but player's gone on with Dorigo. Well, that's a good-looking cross by Dorigo. An awkward sort of clearance by Ablett.
That's a terrific ball by Tony Dorigo. It's a striker's dream. Coming in at the far post, it's a certain goal for any striker.
And Ablett had to hack it away for a corner out because Shutt was right behind him. We've seen some spectacular away performances from Leeds this season, with a 4-1 win at Aston Villa and a 6-1 win at Sheffield Wednesday. Gone, it seems, are the days when Leeds would just sit on a one-goal lead away from home. Strachan into that near post danger zone again. Hinchcliffe gets it away. Beagrie. Carrister wins it back, but the whistle's already gone. Free kick to Everton. Is that part of the policy and philosophy these days at Ellen Road, Lee?
We were just told to go out and play. We were not told to defend Leeds. We're told to go out and score another goal. We just enjoy playing, and it's just the joy of playing that makes you go on and get further goals, and I'm sure this is what we'll do today.
In fact, Leeds are the only team in the Football League who've scored 4 or more goals quite as often as they have, 5 times this season. Prolific record. They got 1 precious goal to their credit here today. April for Everton. Beardsley. Beagrie took it well on the chest and skips round Strachan. Hamlet. Johnston. Oh, great turn by Johnston. Oh, that was vintage Mo Johnston. Leaned into the defender and turned him in one instant and has won the corner. Picked on by Ablett and Jackson! And the youngster gets his first ever goal in league football to bring Everton level. 20 minutes gone in the second half. A moment Matthew Jackson will remember for the rest of his life.
Yes, Leeds won't be happy with a defender here. 2 players at the far post queuing up to head the ball in, and only Gordon Strachan marking. Not very good defensively from Leeds. But a great moment for the youngster.
We've said it so often from Leeds' point of view that those near-post flick-ons are so difficult to defend, and now they find to their own cost just how difficult. You won't get a closer view than this. And for the first time today, the Everton shouts ringing around Goodison. 1 each. We've got a game in our hands now. Tony Dorigo for Leeds United. Batty. McAllister. Cantona. Strachan gets it back in. Then away by Watson. Sterling picking it up again, and a good-looking ball towards Shutt. And Jackson does his job well at the other end. And indeed, he was being fouled, so he's won the free kick. 20, Matthew Jackson, his first season in the First Division. Signed, remember, from Luton Town in October. And a sweet moment that was for him. Johnston leaning into the defender. I felt that, but the referee is happy for play to go on. Leeds in possession with Lukic. Hinchcliffe cleans it up. Southall with an immediate kick on. White's won most of them today, though. And Keown got a little bit too much aggression behind that clearance. Speed's control lets him down. Remember, was Everton's first goal in 4 matches, scored by this man, Matthew Jackson. Johnson lets it run on here to Beardsley. Bergloff, and then Beardsley comes away, but the whistle had gone. Defenders getting themselves in a good deal of confusion there for a moment, with Beardsley buzzing around. Well, it's been a much better second half. And the game's still wide open here. McAllister for Leeds. Given away, Jackson. Neat little ball on. Apple. That's a good ball first time, but it was well watched by White. Johnson was in right behind him if he hadn't got there. his speed. Come on, Mo! That's a good ball as well. Everton finding their men a bit more sweetly now, but offside as Hinchcliffe threaded it through to Johnston. Well, we can have a look, Lee, at the Everton goal from our camera on the other side of the pitch.
Yeah, it's a good flick on, but he's got no one behind him trying to win the ball. We won't be happy with that defensively, that's for sure.
Knowing Howard Wilkinson, we won't be happy, I think it's a bit of an understatement, isn't it?
I would say so.
Winning it well. It's certainly given Everton a lift and an impetus that hadn't been there previously, that goal. Beagrie brought down by Sterling. The referee has gone over as though he's going to caution Mel Sterling for that. And he is. He's pretty quick, Beagrie, when he receives the ball like that and turns a defender. I'm not sure whether it was malicious or just unfortunate on his part that he was beaten and had already committed himself to the tackle. Let's see.
No, I don't think it was malicious. Mel just mistimed the tackle.
Right in front of the Everton bench. Couldn't have been a worse place. Free kick flicked on. Watson couldn't control it. Cantona breaks clear. Held it up nicely. And then gives it away. About 20 minutes to go here at Goodison Park. It's Everton 1, Leeds United 1. McAllister. Keown gets it away. Batty in quickly. McAllister again. And Barrigo wasn't quite as far forward as he imagined. Ward. Beardsley. Looks for Beagrie and finds him with a splendid ball. Good control too by the winger. And a good ball forward for Ablett. In first time towards Johnson. Fairclough read that well. And good play by Leeds. Gary Speed. And at the moment, Everton are just beginning to get the upper hand in this game. Here's Ward. Good ball. Johnston takes it in full stretch, but couldn't control it or keep it close enough to him, but applauds the intent. Bit of a dangerous period for Leeds, perhaps, Lee.
Yes, you're right. Everton are getting on top, and Leeds have got to be very careful, because the longer they leave it, the more dominant Everton will become, the harder it will be for Leeds to get back again.
White's clearance. Speed beaten to it. Ward turning it on. Again, it's White who gets it away. Then Fairclough. Sterling now. Strachan. Thundering challenge on him by Ablett, and the linesman had flagged anyhow. Offside. But Ablett held nothing back then.
The tackles are very keen, to say the least.
This free kick is for offside against Beardsley, who's standing, Lugic's opinion, too close to him. He looks all of 10 yards away. Ablett wins the header, but here's Batty for Leeds, running into Beardsley, who fouled him. Looking for the highest row in the stand with that clearance. Good throw in. by Sterling, knocked on by White. Fairclough's in there as well, and Southall comes to collect. Beagrie under pressure here from Strachan. Took a risk, got away with it. Johnston. Well done, Mo Johnston. This is Beagrie. Hinchcliffe. Offside. I often think it'd be a help if you were stone deaf as a linesman. Some of the things that they must hear going on. As one then, the Everton crowd all hurled abuse at him. Gets it away. On by Hinchcliffe, that could be dangerous. White keeps his eye on the ball. Beardsley's in there to nick it from him though. And now Ward. That's a nice little ball, Beardsley. McAllister blocked the cross. Everton's throw. Disappointing really, that by Everall. Everton have men then in good position. We're into the last quarter of an hour. It's one each and very evenly balanced this. Jackson. Ward scrambling to try and kick the ball while on the ground. Dorigo breathing down his neck. Everton's throw. Beardsley. Ward takes over again. Watson, Hinchcliffe. Leeds get it back, and Lukic immediately whacks it out to that far side. Carl Shutt. Foul it was. Again, the Everton crowd went their fury. I was pretty certain that was a foul. I went for the ball, said Beagrie. And it's a goal kick. Well, Lee, you've done a pretty good job of being impartial so far in view of the fact that you are a Leeds United player. How do you see this final 13-14 minutes going?
Well, I think it's very evenly balanced, and I think either team can win the match at the moment. I think it's going to take something special, a bit of individual skill to produce the winner, but I think one more goal we'll see the team winning.
Everton's throw. Back it goes to Ablett. On towards Johnston. Strack took it down beautifully. Knocks it on for Cantona. He's found it difficult to tune himself to the pace of the game. The French international today. There, Leeds, and they might be made to pay for them. Jackson. Off White to Johnston. Offside, it won't count. Offside, the decision against Beardsley. He is not the most popular man at Goodison at the moment, but I think he was right then. Let's have a look. He was right.
Yes, he's off Beardsley, and the linesman did flag very early.
Beardsley fails to find the target legitimately. And Leeds start themselves, but they've given it away. Ablett. Mo Johnston. Beagrie. It's Leeds throw. Cantona heading it downwards to Strachan. Mo Johnston did well then. Ward. Got Jackson storming down the right. Didn't seem to quite be able to make up his mind then, Mark Ward. And Leeds have it back. Dorigo. They've got 4 men forward here, Leeds. Hamlet defending well, though. Hinchcliffe now for Everton. Beardsley. Fairclough, excellent defending in the other half. Dorigo. Strachan. Sterling kept it in. Strachan. Foul shot. Strachan again. Good football from Leeds. Good defending too by the home side. Keown winning the ball back. He's gone forward. Hinchcliffe swinging it out to this near side. Brave header by Ward. Beardsley. Nice little touch from him. Johnston. Everton having their best spell of the game here. Ward. Beardsley takes over. Hinchcliffe. Jackson's got forward again. Couldn't quite get it under control, but applause from the home fans. They love a trier, home spectators, and he certainly gives it his all. So that's the position with less than 10 minutes remaining. Well, I wonder if Leeds United will regard it as a point won if it stays that way, or 2 points dropped, I guess, in their position, with Man United 4 points clear at the start of play. A draw wouldn't be that satisfactory. We'll hear what Lee has to say about that in a moment as Sterling hammers it forward. Batty. Good defending by Everton. Lee?
Well, if we went on to lose now, it would be a disaster. We've got to make sure we don't lose. We have a point at the moment, but as you said, we've really got to win to keep in touch with United. There are a lot of games to be played, so if we do fail to win, it won't be the end of the world for us.
Come on, Mark. Jackson. White and Fairclough have been magnificent at the back for Leeds today. They dealt quite easily with Cotty and Johnson as a combination. Now the Johnson and Beardsley combination has not given them too many problems either. Watson winning it well at the other end, but here's Strachan. Good effort by Strachan. He just sensed that Southall was on the other side of the goal.
Yeah, speculative effort from Gordon here. Never really going to be on target, but it was worth a try from there.
The club concedes the throw-in. The clock ticks on. 8 minutes to go. Beagrie. Beardsley. Jackson. He's done well, Jackson. They're queuing up for the cross in the middle. He still kept it in play. But really, had he driven the cross in early, then it's easy for me to say from here. They might have profited. As it happens, they're under threat. Cantona, but good challenge by Watson. Beagrie. Sterling wouldn't leave his side then. No, Johnson's little downward header goes straight to Strachan. Patty in bravely then with Beagrie. In fact, bravely is not the word, obviously, that the referee would use about that challenge, because he's given the free kick against it.
Yes, it's been a very physical game today. A lot of fouls being given, a lot of late tackles, and I think there'll be a few players coming off a bit bruised this afternoon.
A bit harsh, really, that, on the referee's part. I thought both players had their feet very high. It was difficult to decide which was the aggressor and who was sinned against. Anyway, Everton have got the free kick. Deep towards Watson, and speed recognised the danger. Speed climbs as well as anybody in the game, and just bashed his head then against Watson, but he's all right. Doing well, Ebro cleaning it up nicely. It'll be nice to think that either side will, or rather both sides will go for the win here now, rather than settling for the draw in the last 5 minutes. Don't forget, we've got all yesterday's goals for you coming up later in the programme. 21 from the First Division programme. Here's Strachan for Leeds United. Just one more, we're doing nicely for them now. McAllister, Batty, McAllister again, that's a good ball. Shot. Good defending, wasn't it? Brilliant stuff from Keogh. Not a bad ball either. Beardsley meets it. Johnston. Ebel takes over. Ward. Gloves clearance, straight at Beagrie. Beagrie looking dangerous here as he comes in field to his right foot. And Johnston dispossessed by speed. Cantona really strong in possession then. This is McAllister. Sterland. Good strong run by him as well. Ablett whacks it out for a throw to Leeds United. Kendall and Colin Harvey urge Everton on for the big effort in the last few minutes here. Sterland for Leeds, finds Strachan. Backed off dangerously then. McAllister. And Fairclough is forward. Now Dorigo. In towards Cantona. And the clearance reaches Batty. And they were crying for the cross then, his teammates. Well, an opportunity for Brian Robson now to deliver his verdict on today's man of the match, Brian.
Well, I feel Martin Keown, he's had a good week. He did well in the England game, and I think he hasn't put a foot wrong today. So I'm going for Martin Keown.
So the Everton defender caps a fine week for him, with an award from a man whose opinion I'm sure he'll greatly respect. Not very often we get an own goal and a man of the match award, is it? But he couldn't do much about that. Just been announced on the public address system here. I'm sure Brian Robson wasn't being diplomatic, but the Evertonians love that. Here's Strachan. Cantona flicking it on. Ward breaks clear for Everton. Less than 2 minutes remaining. It's one each. Jackson. That's a good ball. Beardsley takes it. McAllister covering well though. Turned it back towards Mo Johnston, and Sterland had to clear his lines instantly. Beardsley again. Ebro. He hit it well, but it was always well wide too. Three great Evertonians of old in a line: Jimmy Gabriel, Howard Kendall, Colin Harvey played in different championship sides, all of them down the years. Sitting just behind us, another great ex-Evertonian, Alex Young, in the stand today. It's tomorrow, though, that these Everton supporters are looking to, not yesterday for glories. They haven't won the league since 1986. Spent a lot of money on players. Everton, they don't want to see their side midway down the table. Here's Dorigo for Leeds United, whose own ambitions are centred on the league championship. That's a good-looking cross. Cantona far post, with too many defenders ahead of him, and Keown concedes the throw. And it goes towards White, and then towards Fairclough. Back out to McAllister. Sterling. And he overhit that goal kick. And we are now into stoppage time. And it looks as though Leeds United will have to settle for 1 point, which would reduce the gap between them and Manchester United to 3. Remember, Manchester United at home to Chelsea on Wednesday night. Leeds don't have a midweek fixture. Offside. And well offside this time. Peter Beardsley. This could be the last chance for Leeds United to snatch it. We've had almost a minute of time at it. We've got to get this free kick deep, quickly. Sterling whacking it in, but Ablett gets it clear straight to Batty, though. Back in it goes towards McAllister. Everton win it back with Beagrie now. That's the final whistle, and it has ended in a draw. Leeds United taking the lead when Carl Schupp forced Martin Keown into the error, which produced an own goal. And then a few minutes later, Everton equalising with the first ever goal in senior football for their 20-year-old right-back, Matthew Jackson. In the end, I think a draw, probably a just result over the balance of play. It won't really do a great deal of help for Everton in their mid-table position. And, well, I suppose 1 point is better than none at all as far as Leeds United are concerned. We'll find out exactly what their manager, Howard Wilkinson, thinks of it. He's with Gary Newbold.
Howard, most away teams settle for a point, but do you look at that as 2 points lost for the championship position as it is?
No, there's a lot of football left in the championship yet. It's a good result. In view of how we played, it was a good result. Because we only played well enough to get a draw. We didn't play well enough to win the match today.
Why was that?
I don't know. Simple things. Didn't get the ball wide enough early enough, didn't get enough crosses in. Pitch was too big when we lost it. Too many short balls in the middle of the park, getting cut out. No, not one of our best performances, and a draw's a good result.
And your strike force, Cantona, found it very difficult in his first game in England.
He's finding it very difficult. Welcome to the English Football League for Eric.
Do you think he'll make it?
He's got to. If he doesn't, he sinks.
What about Lee Chapman? I know you'd prefer to have him on the pitch than on our commentary position. When can you get him back?
I don't know. It depends how much you're paying him.
We won't be paying him as much as you, I can promise you that.
Stay up there forever.
But obviously you need him back, don't you?
Well, you can't afford to be without good players for too long. I mean, he's a good player.
Howard,